So I'm going to be blending all these steels together to hopefully create one kind of super steel that has a bit of the properties from everything, toughness, hardness, edge retention, super fine edge quality. I've taken these thin layers. I cut these out of an old Japanese saw that I had that was broken and dull, but it was a beautiful, made in Japan, handmade Japanese saw. I couldn't really salvage. So I'm just layering these pieces up and I'm going to put them in as well because those hold like a really nice sharp edge. So put that all into my billet and let's see if we can forge some stuff together. All right. So here is an absolute beginner, noob, non-blacksmith approach to making a Damascus layered steel billet. Forge, welding, I don't know, there's all sorts of terms, and I'm not much for terminology, but so I got my 3 types of steel here. I got my old sawmill blade, I got a file, bastard file, and then I got, just to make it about the same thickness as these other plies, I've done like 3 small layers of a Japanese handsaw, 2 sets of 3. So I'm going to stack them. So file, sawmill blade, Japanese saw, file, sawmill blade, Japanese saw, like that. I'm going to clamp these together, kind of rough grind the edges so that they're all kind of the same thickness all the way around. Then I'm going to tack weld the ends and then heat this thing up and start smacking it with a hammer. Let's see how it goes. Oh my goodness, I'm getting excited. I'm actually trying to forge weld layers of steel together to make an amazing tool. You have no idea how long I've wanted to do this. Got it all welded up right here. I'm gonna go get some borax flux to help the welds. And we'll put this thing in the forge like right now. So you can see I got it all welded up. Good weld all the way around onto a chunk of rebar. That'll just be my handle for forging this thing and drawing it out. And we'll see if I can do it. Everything looks pretty good so far. I think it's almost been a success. I pounded the crap out of this thing. I couldn't see any of the lines. So I thought my welds were a success. But I figured the best way to test that is to just put it cold on the anvil and smack it with a hammer. And if any hairline cracks show up on the side, then obviously the welds didn't take. None showed up on this side. That thing, and it's solid. But I'm seeing like 2 hairline cracks right down the middle on this side. So the welds didn't take. Not surprised. It's my first try. So I'm gonna superheat this thing again. Put some of this borax, washing soda, and use it as flux. Because I've seen that in a lot of videos. Everybody says use borax, so I'm gonna put some borax on there. Get this thing as hot as I can get it to go, and then just pound the crap out of it a couple more times and see if I can fix those welds. If not, start over. Well, that was a fail.
I was getting really excited to be like, yeah, I just pounded 12 layers of steel together with a hammer, welded them with just heat and my strength. But it actually pretty much worked out. But if you look at this picture right here, you can see that one of the welds didn't take. There's still a line through the middle of my little billet here. So, back to the drawing board. Lessons that I learned from this project. When you're heating up the steel in the forge, you pour this like borax on it and it kind of like fizzles and most of it evaporates away, but it leaves this kind of wet look on the steel and like helps it melt together. I don't know exactly what's going on, but that was definitely helping the welds take place. And then I had to crank this thing up to about 20-25 psi, just pound, like to get that forge like smoking hot up around 2,000 degrees, and the surface of the steel starts to like bubble and like crackle like it's boiling almost, and it looks like really wet, and that's when you know it's hot. And then when you hit it with the hammer, little like bits of like molten steel like splat, like spit out right from like in the crack. Like when you hit it with the hammer, it like squishes it and like squirts actually like molten steel, like big sparks, like just comes flying out when you hit it. And that's what you need to, that's like a telltale sign that the weld is actually taken, is because the steel was like almost in a molten state, and when you hammer it together, that's what causes that weld. So if you don't see like these big like sparks like shooting out when you hit that thing when it's like white hot, then your weld has not taken place. And so when I first started hammering that thing, it just wasn't hot enough. And then I finally got it up to heat, and then I started to see some of those welds. But by then, I think that, too much oxygen had maybe gotten into that crack and prevented it from welding. So, as all you makers know, failure is just another speed bump on the road to success. And I'm glad I got that one out of the way. Things to know if you're going to try blacksmithing: it's freaking hard work. Man, like you gotta hammer and it's hot and it's sweaty, and like I got mad respect for people that work with steel, forging steel, because wow, that's just tough. Like I'm thinking I gotta get some power equipment if I'm gonna keep doing this and making my own tools, because jeez, my arm is just killing me just after hammering like one billet. I'm such a softie. Anyways, if you're gonna try a blacksmithing project, just be prepared to work your butt off and likely fail several times before you succeed at making something awesome. So make sure you subscribe for my next attempt at making an awesome tool. And until next time, Samurai out.